Hi everyone, we've been missing Tuesday nights together, so I thought I'd bring you out for a little ride into the country and have a look at some sheep. I wonder if you've ever sat and watched sheep, if you've ever spent time watching them. I don't mean counting them, because you might fall asleep, but just sitting watching sheep. If you haven't, you've probably watched One Man and His Dog on the television, or Countryfile. And you know what happens. The shepherd uses his dog to drive the sheep through a course, and if all goes well they end up through a gate into a pen. The way it works is that the shepherd and the dog drive the sheep because the sheep are afraid of the dog. They run in the opposite direction. I guess in this country that's what we think about when we think of shepherd and the sheep. A few years ago though, I was in North Africa visiting some friends who were working as missionaries. We got the opportunity to do a bit of sightseeing, and one day we went out into the middle of nowhere, several hours away from the city, and we were having a look around, and we came across a cave in the side of a hill, and there were pots and pans and blankets, and it was evident that they belonged to the local shepherds. So I thought, what a good opportunity to see what the Bible talks about when it speaks about the Good Shepherd. A little further down the hill we came across the shepherds. There were probably 5 of them, 5 or 6 shepherds and 50 or 60 sheep and goats. And I might have some pictures somewhere to show you if I can find them. And the youngest shepherd was probably about 5 or 6 years old. But what was really disappointing was that they were driving the sheep along with sticks and even throwing stones at them to get them to move. Nothing like the image I thought I would see from the Bible description of a good shepherd. This is how Jesus describes the relationship between the sheep and a shepherd in John chapter 10. He says this: "Very truly I tell you, Pharisees, anyone who does not enter the sheepfold by the gate, but climbs in by some other way, is a thief and a robber. The one who enters the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. The gatekeeper opens the gate for him, and the sheep listen to his voice. He calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought them out, he goes ahead of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. But they will never follow a stranger. In fact, they will run away from him because they do not recognize a stranger's voice." Amanda mentioned this passage to someone a while ago who wasn't a Christian, and this lady was struck by the story because she had a friend who was keeping sheep and had seen her calling them by name, and the individual sheep would come up to her. You know, that sort of relationship can only develop over time, and because the sheep have learnt to trust the shepherd. Jesus, of course, is our shepherd. He doesn't drive us along with sticks. He doesn't throw stones at us, but he goes ahead of us and calls us by name. Most sheep that you see these days have a number sprayed on their back, especially at lambing season, so the farmer knows which lambs belong to which sheep. All livestock, of course, these days have a tag on its ear with a number on it. But our relationship with Jesus isn't about numbers, and it isn't about tags. He calls us by name. Our relationship with him is personal and close up. He not only knows our name, he knows all about us and all our needs. A couple of final verses to encourage you from John chapter 10, verses 27 and 28. Jesus says this: "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. No one will snatch them out of my hand." God bless.